Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Townsend. I'm the legal director for the nonprofit legal services organization, the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press. I'm joined by Chris Perez, a partner at the law firm of Donaldson and Califf. I'd first like to say that the Reporters Committee is excited to be partnering with Double Exposure for the sixth edition of its festival. And I'm glad to again be a part of the festival's pro bono legal clinic alongside Chris and others. Today, Chris and I hope to give you a preview of what you can expect to learn at the full legal clinic at Double Exposure this October, where we'll also be joined by Edward Baker, counsel at Constantine Cannon, and Theodore Frank, a retired partner at Arnold and Porter, to help answer your questions about common legal issues facing documentary filmmakers, including privacy and libel, freedom of information, whistleblower protection, and intellectual property. Before we dive in, a bit of background about each of us. I've been at the Reporters Committee since 2014, and as its legal director, I oversee the Reporters Committee's direct litigation and amicus practices. Along with our team of staff attorneys, I represent news organizations and journalists, including documentary filmmakers, in public records, court access, and other First Amendment cases. The Reporters Committee attorneys also provide pre-publication review and other legal support, particularly to documentary filmmakers and nonprofit newsrooms through our partnerships with the International Documentary Association, the Fund for Investigative Journalism, and others. I'll leave it there for now and turn it over to Chris to introduce himself, and then after that, we'll get started.
Thanks, Katie. Really happy to be here and helping out with this festival for the first time for me and for the firm. My name is Chris Perez. I'm a partner with Donaldson and Califf. We are an entertainment law firm that advises primarily independent film and television producers and also new media producers. And we do pretty much everything on the transactional side for documentary filmmakers, whether that's development work like option and purchase agreements and shopping agreements, financing, production, rights clearance, and distribution. So pretty much everything on the transactional side. We don't do any litigation, which is kind of nice. But I've been with the firm since 2009 and very happy to be here. I'm also a board member of the International Documentary Association, which does a ton of great work for the documentary filmmaking community.
Thanks, Chris. I'd like to first start by talking about some of the more common legal concerns that I've seen documentary filmmakers have to deal with through my work at the Reporters Committee. These can be helpful to keep in mind at the start and throughout the course of a project to help identify and avoid potential legal problems and roadblocks later on. For example, obtaining and using public records and documents through state public records laws or Federal Freedom of Information Act, and relying on official documents so that you can take advantage of things like the fair report privilege. Republication liability is another concern or another issue that we sometimes see documentary filmmakers need to address at the vetting stage. And right to record considerations. Are you in a one-party consent state or a two-party consent state? Those can have implications for whether a documentary filmmaker can move forward with using footage that they might obtain purposefully or inadvertently if they recorded someone who didn't realize that they were being recorded. Those are a couple of the issues that I think we might address during the full pro bono legal clinic at the Double Exposure Film Festival this October. Chris, what thoughts do you have about what we might cover?
Yeah, I think the biggest category of questions I usually get is around fair use, which is an exception to the copyright law that allows users to use limited portions of copyrighted works for use, in this case, in a documentary. So we can talk about the 4 factors of that analysis, as well as other considerations that you should take into account as a filmmaker. It's going into the editing process. Another big category of things that has come up is invasion of privacy and also defamation and libel issues. I think you touched on that. We're seeing a lot of films that are kind of whodunit documentaries or crime doc series are very popular now. So as you can imagine, there are lots of concerns about what you can and can't say in a documentary and what your interview subjects can and can't say. What kind of responsibilities do you have when it comes to vetting those statements? And what kind of standards do you need to meet when it comes to getting your errors and omissions insurance policy, which is really important for distributing your film. We also come across a lot of questions when it comes to the use of trademarks. So if you can imagine, if you're doing an expose on a corporation, you're probably going to want to use a lot of brands, brand materials, logos. There's going to be statements about those companies. And of course, you can make that film, as you know, Katie, that there's First Amendment implications all over that. But you have to be knowledgeable about trademark law and the Lanham Act. So we can help with questions related to that. We're also seeing a lot of questions related to life story rights. Obviously, the threshold question is, do I need them? Usually the answer is no, but there are plenty of reasons why you would get them. So that's something that we can explore as well. And then other things like, contracts for minors, specific questions as it relates to very sensitive subject matters. We have films that are about therapy sessions, things that implicate the doctor-patient relationship, the lawyer-client relationship. What are the relationships or the subject matter subjects that you have to be concerned about when it comes to including statements in a film? So those are just some of the topics. I'm sure other things will come up, and we can cover those.
Thanks, Chris. And thanks to everyone who has taken the time to watch this preview. We hope that you have a little bit of a better understanding of what you'll learn at the full legal clinic. You can find more information on how to join us at dxfest.com. There you'll find details on the full symposium program and speakers, the film lineup, and how to purchase a pass. You can also use the code FREEPRESS20 to get 10% off your pass through September 21st. Thanks again, everyone, and we hope you'll join us virtually for the full pro bono legal clinic at the Double Exposure Festival in October.